Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to another edition of Christine's Family Wealth Secrets. So if you're looking for an estate planning attorney or a trust lawyer in Elk Grove to help you at least address some questions regarding how a prenuptial can help you, estate planning is not really that area. Family law is if you want to create a prenuptial. But the thing I'm here to talk about today is you can actually really lock down your separate property before you get married and think about whether you even need to ask for a prenuptial by creating your own separate estate plan. So if you're considering getting married or you're already engaged and you're thinking, gee, I have all of this separate property and I want to make sure that I have a way to protect it, but I'm not super comfortable asking for a prenuptial from my soon-to-be spouse, one of the things that you can do is you can create an estate plan, and if you have real estate, probably a trust, to put your trust into your separate estate plan. It's a really handy tool to make sure that your property is kept separate, and you don't have to have that uncomfortable conversation about asking your soon-to-be betrothed for a prenuptial agreement. You can put all of your separate property in there. It's really important that you don't commingle that property. As many married couples do. So they have separate property, they get married, and then they throw it all together. And that really muddies the water in the event that there is a divorce, because it makes it very difficult to track that separate property. But if you create a trust before marriage and you put your separate property there, it's very likely to be upheld in any kind of divorce proceeding, especially if it is always kept separate. And that's the beauty of a trust, is once you create it and you title your property into the trust, you're likely not ever going to commingle it. So that can include bank accounts, that can include investment accounts. You can wrap that all together quite nicely in your own separate trust. And then it will avoid having to ask for a prenuptial. It doesn't avoid making your earnings joint earnings during the marriage. That's one thing that a prenuptial will do that an estate plan won't. But if it's really just making sure that your separate property is always kept separate, and you're dreading having to have that conversation about asking for a prenuptial, which can really cool the waters, I guess, when it comes to getting married. It can be a very uncomfortable conversation, and it can actually end a relationship. So this is just a tip to maybe get around that. And so check out our article today, which is part 2 of the do's and don'ts, or the ins and outs of prenuptial agreements. And in this particular instance, how creating your own estate plan can maybe kind of solve some problems for you. So thank you so much again for tuning in to Christine's Family Wealth Secrets. And we look forward to seeing you with more information next week. Take care.